Hello, my name is William Goodwater. I am with Rightstick Studios. I'm here to give a short tutorial on a little something that I personally have been struggling with in Unity. The show, hide, and lock cursor. The problem with this is that Unity 5 has recently updated in general, and I can't for the life of me find a tutorial on this. It took me a few days just to find the right code for this to work. So I'm going to actually make a tutorial for everyone else. This has been tested personally for me. Hopefully it should work for anyone else's projects, so I will begin very simply. The very basic of the code is very simple. For the locking mechanic, it is Cursor.lockState equals CursorLockMode.Locked. It's very complex, so let me try to explain it as best as I can. Cursor.lockState tells the system what state it is. Cursor.lockMode tells what mode the locking mechanic is in. And the .locked actually tells that it's actually locked. This is what's considered the true or false statement in this instance. It's not a bool like normal, where it's a true or false, like we would normally think. It is instead just locked, none, and I think a few other variables that are optional. But let's just focus on locked and none for right now. Cursor.visible was actually one of the hardest ones, strangely enough, when it's actually as simple as Cursor.visible equals false. Which is weird because the previous one literally had that whole line, when this one's just a simple bool. This code will pretty much work just fine if you put it at void start when you're using C#. Also, I personally added to void update as well. This very standard code will work just fine for cursor lock and hide. But of course, I'm sure that you're wanting a little bit more than that. Because you probably want, I want to press escape to escape the mouse lock. This is very well easily done. Let's make a variable in front of void start. Let's call it bool cursor lock variable. At void start, let's call cursor lock variable equals true. This cursor lock variable will just generally state that it will switch on and off between cursor is locked and cursor is not locked. That way, every time that you press escape, it should switch between the two, like a toggle. Under the void update, we'll put a simple if statement. If Input.GetKeyDown escape and cursor lockdown is false, then we'll change the cursor lock mode to locked. We'll change the visible to false, and we'll switch cursor locked variable to true. This is a very complex code for beginners, and I'm still having a hard time explaining it, but it's very simply put. The exclamation point before cursor locked variable in the if statement is opposite. It's technically false in this. And the and means, and. So if you press escape and the statement is false, then everything will run. Else, we'll then go to else, for example. Else if Input.GetKeyDown escape and cursor lock variable is true, then, as you can see, is the opposite of all the other statements from before. Essentially, these are toggling between the two statements, and the last line, cursor.lock variable true and false, is switching them between each other. It's very complex in explaining to new users, and that's why I had to try to do the best I can. I hope this tutorial helped you very much. It took me forever to find the right code and coding to get this to work right, and it took a friend to help me out with the lock variables. I normally wouldn't do a tutorial, In fact, this would be the first tutorial on this channel. But I felt that it would be my duty to put this out for anyone that is looking for this code, for it was impossible for me to find this code myself. I will obviously put this code in the description below for anyone who needs it. Thank you for listening, and I hope this helped you out.